Hello Guardians, Tristan DeRaven again, here with you with this week's Nightfall. As you can see, it is the Scion Flayers, going over the modifiers for this week. The big one really is just going to be Void Burn, so I am on the Warlock, running the classic vampire build, so we're just going to be chucking grenades quite a bit. You can see I've got a scout rifle, Void, Sniper, and Dart Trinker, and I may switch over to Telesto and or Truth, or the new Void Machine Gun, just sort of depending on the situation. Since it is the Scion Flayers this week, don't worry about 3 of coins since they don't work. Also, we have the Cabal version on the Taken, which makes things kind of nice. The one drawback to that is that you don't have quite as many mobs with the Cabal version as you do with the Taken, so you're going to want to make sure that you maximize your time in order to maximize points if you are chasing that Sunrise bounty. I've already got Icebreaker, so I'm not terribly worried about it. And since this series is really for the average player, we're more concerned about completion and rewards at the end of the Nightfall than we are than getting, like the Sunrise. If we do, great. If not, again, it's just for the completion. So you just want to jump on your Sparrow, go ahead and shoot on into the dome here. Don't really worry about these guys too much. You don't want to waste your time. Again, we want to take as little time getting through this as possible. We're going to go ahead and just stick to our plan. The strike isn't very hard. You may be a little intimidated by it, but if this is your first solo, or if you're a lower light level, again, don't be. It's not very difficult. Just stick to the plan. Again, we're going to use our abilities to our advantage. We're really going to take advantage of the grenades and just use them as much as possible. I'll show you some safe areas where you can fall back to in case you need to, like this hallway that we just came out of. That's why I always come back here. You're going to have ads that are going to spawn down below us and then across the way, so let's take out these guys first. Pretty straightforward. Just kill everything as they come. The ads will make their way close to you, so just stick close to this doorway here. If you do get a little overwhelmed, then you can't just fall back into the hallway. Pretty much nothing's going to follow you in there. Now, sometimes things will get, kind of hung up or stuck back there, or they're just slow. So, you will have to kind of push back a little bit to take these guys out. Now, there are going to be a few mini Scion Flayers that will pop up. I believe in this room you've got the Void, the next one I think is Solar, and then the last one is the Arc. So that's why I'm using Dart Drinker. As you can see, when this guy pops out, it just makes real quick work of them. They're not nearly as strong as the end boss, but since these Scions and the Scion little mini Flayers are shielded, they can be a bit annoying, so you do want to make sure you take them out pretty quick. Alright, once you've taken out all the ads, you're just going to make your way to the next encounter. We've got Cabal and a few Vex, so we've got some ads across the way there, as you can see, a few down below. Just take these guys out from deep. Again, you don't want to get stuck using just one thing, so make sure you're making the most of all the tools that you have, abilities as well as weapons. Now, once I kind of clear out the first initial guys, I like to go into this elevator shaft here to make my way up. Sometimes you'll have the few Vex that are in this room will kind of gather up at the little elevator doors that you'll see right here, which is why I chuck a grenade out there. If they're not gathered there, then they're just kind of wandering around, so just jump up onto the platform here, and then you can jump through the doorways. That way you can go out and take out the ads on the second floor. Alright, well, as you can see, I'm having a super easy time getting through those doors because I'm really awesome at this game here. So, just make sure you look around and you don't get hung up on the things here. I waste a little bit of time finally getting out here. Well, there we go, Tris, good job. At this point, things have kind of migrated over to the other side, so just go ahead and clear these guys out. You're going to need to scan the door once these are done. The next waves are going to spawn upper left and down below. You can see I'm getting ready for the next wave. And then I think it finally dawns on me about here that, oh no, it took me a little bit longer. It dawns on me that I actually have to go scan the door. So don't forget to do that and save yourself a little bit of time. Alright, here we are. We're going to go ahead and scan the door finally. Now, the initial wave spawns directly across from us. The Cabal are going to come out of this doorway here. It makes it really easy to throw a rocket at them if you're not using a sword, or, you know, I'm using grenades obviously because they're all grouped up. You know, the machine gun will work really well here as well, or Telesto would have been a good choice also. You are going to have some Cabal that are going to be down below, along with the Scions and the next little mini flare, so just be aware of that. Don't forget these guys down here. Alright, so the shielded Scions come next with the little solar mini. So we're just going to clean these guys up before we move on to the next encounter. These guys aren't too terribly hard. The mini flares aren't too difficult. They can be a little slippery, but you do want to take them out first. If they're grouped up, they can actually make pretty short work of you, especially if you're a lower light level or if you're unfamiliar with this particular strike. If that's the case, don't be afraid to hang back, use rockets, use a sniper rifle even. If you're going to take things out from deep, you don't necessarily have to rush in and you know, use a sword. I just like to do it because it's just fast. We're going to make our way to the next room where we've got Cabal and Vex. They're fighting a little bit. Now you can let them fight out and kind of, you know, let each one sort of dwindle their numbers, or you can just go in and do it yourself. Just be smart about it. Again, if you're lower light level, or if this is your first Nightfall solo, you don't want to ruin a good run with a stupid death. So just make sure that you're being smart, taking things out from as far away as possible. You got your situational awareness, because again, this Minotaur does tend to come out a little bit. He's pretty much the only ad that will. So if you want, you can actually hang out here in the hallway and take things out. Nothing in this room is too hard. Just watch out for the shielded Cabal and the Harpies a little bit later. Take your time and take them out from deep if you're not on Warlock. If you're on Titan, go ahead and pop a bubble in the middle. Hunters, you can use your bow in the middle. That would be great where some of the ads are grouped up. And then just, you know, take them out at your leisure. But again, nothing too terribly difficult here, guys. I like to blow things up. You don't need to do that, guys. I just like to see it blow up. It's fun. Alright, so we're going to scan the door here. The next wave of ads are going to spawn across the room, and then you're going to have Vex that are behind the barrier over there. Again, I like to just come over here, chuck some grenades at this door while the Cabal are coming through. You're going to have, I can't remember what they're called, but you're going to have the guys that shoot the rockets and have the little miniguns, so you definitely want to take that guy out first because he will wreck you fast. And then you've got, you know, your standard phalanxes and that sort of thing. So once these guys are done, we can move on to the Vex. This would actually be a great place for heavy if you're not using a sword. Don't risk a death and just rush in swinging with the sword. So if you're using a rocket launcher or a machine gun, again, you know, that's just going to make real quick work of these guys because, you know, we're in an enclosed space. They tend to group up, so you can take out multiples with 1 or 2 rockets. after we take out these last few guys, we're going to have the next little mini flare. This should be the last one. In year one, I think you had all 3 of these guys in each one of the encounters. They changed it, you know, way back when, which makes this a lot easier than it used to be. Those guys used to be a huge pain. Fortunately, we don't have to deal with that too much. So once we've cleared out the ads, we're going to move on to the next boss encounter. This hallway here, this is going to be our safe area. Do not push out too far. We're going to clear out the ads that are here first to spawn in the flares, and then once we go to work on the bosses a little bit, when we need to fall back, this is where you're going to come back to. You can fall all the way back to the door where we just ran into. Things don't push into this hallway too far, and if they do, they tend to kind of go around the corner behind me here, or if they do come into the hallway, they don't go in very far. So you can literally fall all the way back to that roll-up door that we just walked through. If you need to recover, if you need to take a break for whatever reason, let the dog out or something, if you need to pop heavy or something like those lines, you can go all the way down this hallway around the corner and you're still safe. So we're going to use this to our advantage. Titans, Hunters, even though you don't have the recharging scatter grenades like the Warlocks do, again, bust out you know, a rocket launcher. Titans, you can pop a bubble in the hallway with either blessings or armor or even weapons, and then just go ham with the sword to take out these ads. Once the flares spawn in, again, the strategy is just going to be take out a flare, work on ads. Take out a flare, work on ads. Take out the flare, finish the strike. So, you know, we're just going to use that hallway to our advantage. We're going to scan the thing here. The flares are going to spawn in. If you can get 2 of them in the first little bit, great. Otherwise, take 1 out and then fall back, and then take out the next, you know, the ads and that sort of thing. The Cabal will summon in dropships, which will wreck you quick. So that's why we want to take 1 out, fall back, take out the ads, take out the next flare, that sort of thing. So as you can see, we took out the first flare. The ads are starting to, you know, matriculate towards us here a little bit. So we're going to egress back into the hallway. So again, we're just going to use this to our advantage. This is our safe area. The nice thing with those scatter grenades is that it recharges our health. Plus you can see how they tend to gather up, which makes it really easy to take them out from this little doorway here. And then as we get overwhelmed again, we just fall back down further the hallway as needed. Now, like I said, some mobs will come into this area. They won't come in too very far, so if you get overwhelmed, again, just fall further back down. Those shielded guys, the Centurions, won't follow you all the way to, you know, the back of this hallway. I think they maybe go like halfway up and then they start to walk back out. What you don't want to do is throw a panic grenade or something. That would be, you know, I make a critical error here in a little bit, which you guys will see. But, you know, once you've kind of taken out that initial wave, then again, use some of your other tools to your advantage and go to work on some of those ads. See how that phalanx just fell back there? He came in quite far. He was able to fall almost all the way back. So again, this is a great area for you to kind of stage your mob incursions on. Once you've cleared some of these guys out, it's now time to try and find that next flare. Don't spend too much time in this hallway. You can take the flares out from deep, but it is going to take some time, and ads will continue to come in. They bring them in on ships, and they do come out from the little doorways and stuff. The Void and the Solar Flare tend to hang out kind of in the back and in the middle, which makes it a little difficult for you to find them if you're just, you know, too zoned in here in this little hallway. You will need to push out at some point, so when you do, just keep moving, be smart about it. Pick your opportunity. and don't get stuck in one place. So when you're throwing grenades in an enclosed space like that, don't do that. That was a little bit of a panic throw. I got a little ballsy. I was doing great on time. I died. I had a few deaths after that because I was rushing because of time before I kind of collected myself and decided to play it smart. Like you'll see here, I don't quite get this guy, but I didn't want to hit that blowy uppy thing and kill myself. So I'm starting to get overwhelmed. My health is getting low. I got nothing I can kill real quick with energy drain, so I just fall back to the hallway and we just stick to the plan. It's not worth the death and the loss of time, or potentially loss of a super or something along those lines, to rush through it and try and finish this either quickly or not smartly. So again, stick to your plan. Don't rush. Learn from your mistake, like you're gonna see here. Right? We don't panic throw. We learn from our mistakes, and then we don't repeat the things that wrecked us from earlier. Now again, I'm just working on ads here. Once I get these things suitably cleared out and an opportunity presents itself, then I'll go ahead and push out, either to clear out some additional ads, or like here, I thought I could get this the ad and that flare with a Nova Bomb. Don't quite get it, no big deal. Just fall back into the hallway as I'm getting overwhelmed. Look how far back you can come, and you can go even further. You can go all the way around the corner, and these things aren't going to follow you that far back, so it makes it really nice to use this as your staging area. Now when you pick your moment to push out, you're going to need to stay mobile. Don't just hang out in one place and get zoned in. Ads will come up behind you, they will come up and flank you. These ads are highly mobile, but they're also very aggressive. So don't be afraid, or I should say, just keep moving. Don't get stuck in one place. So an opportunity presented itself to take out the next flare. I go ahead and take it. I just go to work with him on the sword. Once he's down, again, I just start to go back to our little safe area. I've got nothing left to kill really, so I kind of pop in because I want to pop a heavy. When you do that, again, we're just going to fall all the way back because nothing's going to follow us back there. Alright, now I'm clear of that, so I'm going to go ahead and push out. Again, the next two flares kind of hang out on the left-hand side and towards the middle. There's a little room down below that you can use. It's not as safe as the hallway. You still need to move around quite a bit, and mobs will push up into that room. So in an emergency it's okay, but it's not a place that you want to stage incursions from too much. Now, like I said earlier, ads will come up behind you, so just be aware of that. Don't get too zoned in. If you start to take damage, just know what's around you, where you can dip into for cover real quick, or how to dip out if you need to. So we're just going to clean up some of these ads from deep and then make our way down once the area is kind of clear. These scions are shielded, so just be aware of that. Now the Void Flare tends to hang out behind these boxes here, and then the Solar kind of in the middle of this landing pad. So I'm going to take advantage of some cover as well as this heavy box here. Then we're going to push out. If you're going to push out for a last flare, if there's ads around, make sure you take out the ads first, because again, once this flare is down, then the ads will despawn, but you don't want to get wrecked as you're taking them out. And that's it, we're done. Not too difficult. I'm going to pop this chest because I want that Void Mantle as the last one that I need. If that last dropship is there, it will wreck you, so just be aware of that. So let's go ahead and see what we get out of the chest here. Wow, Treads Upon Stars, awesome. Well, thank you, Nightfall. Appreciate it. Alright, guys. Well, hopefully this was helpful and it helps you to finish it this week. Let me know down below what you thought of the video and what you got from your rewards or from your chest. I'd love to hear from you guys. Let's go ahead and see what we get from the rewards. Alright. Best rewards ever. Totally worth it. Alright, thanks guys. Have a good one. Happy playing.